Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MILF Ministry podcast, where we explore self love, healing, and intimacy. You can join the discussion by following MILF Ministry on IG, Facebook, Twitter. The handle is identical everywhere at MILF Ministry. That's at MILF MINISTRY. So today we're just going to jump right into it. Today we're going to talk about the first time you have sex with a new partner as a mom. So many people, move on to new relationships. That's like not a big deal. But my story is a little different in terms of me being married, divorced, and being with one person and one person only for 15 years for basically all of my adult life. I met my ex-husband at 19 and we stayed together until I was about 34. So the natural progression that people kind of go through where you meet a new partner and you have to decide what you like, what you don't like, and articulate your needs, all those type of things that most adults go through, I kind of had a huge learning curve because I was just comfortable with one person for a long time. So me at 35, 36, I had to step out and articulate my needs and articulate my desires and really think about what I wanted as a woman sexually for the first time. And not only did I have to think about what I wanted, I had to articulate and communicate my needs with my partner. So this first episode is about what that was like for me, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So we'll go back to the beginning. The first few months after I separated from my ex-husband, I was in a very sad place. I wasn't really thinking about interacting with anyone, and honestly, I didn't really feel attractive. On top of that, I was looking for stable work, looking for a new apartment, looking for a new vehicle, looking for many different things in a brand new city. That city is Los Angeles, where I currently live. So most of my time was just spent focused on that. Like, okay, get yourself together, focus, focus, focus. And after a few months of focusing on business, I found an apartment, found a car. My ex and I decided we're not even going to try to like be hippies and try to live together and, co-parent under the same roof. We decided, no, we're going to live separately. After we made certain decisions, I was like, okay, let's focus on getting healthy. Let's focus on all these things. But my vagina was like, oh, no, 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 darling. We are alive. We are alive. We have needs. These needs are not being met. And I was like, but we don't have time for that. This is a private discussion between me and my vagina, by the way. We don't have time for such things. And my vagina was like, oh, but yes, we do, darling. Yes, we do. So on top of all of these things, after I found my place and, found stable employment, one of my coworkers invited me to a male review. So I said, okay, fine. I'll go to this male review. And I don't know what was going on. It was a lot of energy floating through the air. So a lot of chocolate men, a lot of dance, a lot of sweat, a lot of sexual energy flowing through the room. And so I always joke with my girlfriends that on that day, I got hit with a bug. Got hit with some sexual energy that would not dissipate. It was just like, okay, I need masculine energy, I need male energy. And at this time that I got invited to this male review, it had been about a year since I was separated from my ex. But I still had a personal problem, which was I was excited to have sex and I felt horny. My vagina was letting me know she was ready to have sex, but mentally and emotionally, I didn't feel attractive. So the whole point, like I said, MILF Ministry is about, self-love. It's about healing. It's about intimacy. The whole point of this story is to just kind of talk to you about what those initial steps were like, to your body physically wanting to have sex, to you emotionally deciding, okay, I'm ready to do this, and then determining as a woman, what does this look like? What should it look like? Should it be a boyfriend? Should it just be a lover? Should I be looking for my second husband? These are all things that me, the classic overthinker, goes through. And these are all things that I was thinking about. So, as I said, about a year after being separated from my ex-husband, I was extremely horny, but just did not feel sexy. So herein lies the struggle. I'm a very determined woman. I'm a woman that when I set my mind to something, I'm like goal-oriented, task-oriented. So with all that being said, after a year of not having sex, I decide, okay, we're going to have sex. Let's get ready to have sex. And so I start, just working on myself, listening to affirmations, talking to my girlfriends about what that would look like, what that would feel like again. And just really saying to the universe, okay, I'm ready to do this. Should I go on online dating sites? Should I, talk to friends that I know, especially male friends who may be possibly interested in helping me out with my needs? I kind of went through this whole checklist of like, who do I know in Los Angeles that could help me out? Who do I know, period, that could help me out? And just kind of went through these intentions of like, okay, this is what I want to do. So at this point now, we're talking about a 3-month span. So I start doing African dance, which is something that I love. It's very healing and invigorating and uplifting to my spirit. And a side result of that is that you get to kind of release your energy in a healthy manner, and you also get to lose weight if you hadn't been really exercising in a while. So I found a healthy place to kind of like release energy and focus on myself and lose weight. So that's part one. Another thing that I did is I like to have conversations with the universe, conversations with spirit. I'm a very spiritual person. So I'll sit down and actually write out things on a vision board like, okay, I'm ready to have sex. These are people that I'm comfortable talking to about sex, whether it's male or female, and I'll do these things. So now we get to the fun part of the story. So after a few months of like setting my intentions, talking to my girlfriends, thinking about who I could possibly have sex with, I sit down in front of my shrine and I say, okay, I, Iodele Vassal, am ready to have sex. And these are 2 men that I'd be interested in having sex with, or at least interested in talking to about sex. Or maybe they could help me recommend a friend. But long story short, I was very, very specific with this intention and sat down and kind of vision boarded out like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to get there. And we're going to figure some stuff out. So I placed these names down. Lo and behold, 2 days later, oh, mind you, neither one of these men live in Los Angeles, just so that you guys have some understanding. So 2 days later, one of the men that I placed down at my personal shrine happens to be in Los Angeles. I know you're like, really? Are you sure? Like, this doesn't sound right. Really? Yes, really, that's what happened. So now I'm looking at this like, this is an opportunity to explore what I really want to do, which is have sex, right? Someone that I'm comfortable with will be in my presence. Um, how can I approach this person? How can I approach this situation? How can I set this up? So one of my good qualities in my legal profession, because I'm an attorney by trade, is I like to think and analyze and overanalyze many situations. Great professionally, not so much my best asset personally. So I set out on this task to have sex. The person's here. So I start analyzing, like, okay, how will I approach this? Will I tell him that I want help? You know, he should recommend me to a friend. But then low key, I'm like, maybe he would offer me sex. And then we could just squash the whole thing and I can just do it like, you know, in the next few days. Decisions. So I contact him, let him know that I'm in Los Angeles, and he's like, okay, cool. My friend is having a party. You should stop by. So I decide to take him up on the offer. So we go through the formalities. Hey, how you doing? Long time no see. You know, what's going on? Back and forth. And I'm like, yes, everything's cool. Good to hear from you. By the way, my ex and I are no longer together. And he's like, oh, so you're single now? Yes, I'm single now. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to get you high. I'm going to get you drunk. I'm going to get you something. So he proceeds to like give me edibles, give me liquor, which I'm all here for that. We're talking to each other. We're dancing with each other. We're talking to other people at the party. We're dancing with other people at the party. And then finally, at this party, we decide to like have a conversation where we just kind of get real. And I explained to him that I haven't had sex in 18 months. Some may say this is a trap. Some may say it's not a trap, but it was my truth. I hadn't had sex in 18 months. And I said to him, you know, I'm looking for you to maybe like connect me with someone that lives here. We'll see what we can do and this and that. And he was just like, yeah, but you need some dick and you need some dick right now. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I do. I really do. And he was like, you know, I could hook you up with a friend, but I know you. And it might take you a few months to get comfortable and so on and so forth. But I'm here. I'm available right now. I could give it to you right now. Now listen, ladies. That wasn't even really fair. I mean, come on now. Someone that has not had sex in 18 months, you're offering it to them like, right, listen, you can have it right here. So as you know before, I already said my vagina and I, we have conversations. My vagina was like, there's penis here. He has offered it to you. We're fucking. My mind was like, well, wait a minute. No, what is this? What will this mean? You know, how does he feel about me? How do I feel about him? But he doesn't live in Los Angeles. You know, how are these things even going to work? And my vagina was like, nobody has time for that. There's penis here. Someone that you're comfortable with. It's going down. Like, it's happening. It's happening. So then he smartly says, okay, forget sex. Like, let's not even worry about sex right now. Why don't we just kiss? Kissing to people that are sexually active and are doing their own thing, it's nothing. Kissing to a woman that hasn't had sex in 18 months, I mean, come on, people. You already know where the story's going. So anyway, I fall for that trap. And we start kissing. And my vagina's like, oh yeah, it's definitely going down. There's no stopping the train. It's happening. Like, nothing's stopping it. You know, like, this is going down. And on a separate level, I had been craving masculine energy. I had a strong desire to, you know, just feel attractive and feel sexy and just feel like someone wanted to have sex with me. And here's this man that I literally just spoke his name 2 days ago, saying, okay, I'm comfortable even broaching the topic of sex with this person. Lo and behold, this man is in Los Angeles. And on top of that, this man is giving me the energy that I've been craving. energy, energy, energy. Like, he's like, not only am I here, but I want to do this. I'm excited to do this, and I want you, and we can do it right now. So that night, my vagina won because she was like, we're doing this. So we find the necessary protection. We find a location, so to speak, and we start the physical act. Now, this story is really, really important because, like I said, the theme of this episode, or the message behind this episode, is how do you as a woman get comfortable having sex for the very first time with a new partner as a mom. So for women that are mothers who have given birth the traditional way, like I have, you start to have like questions like, well, you know, how will I look? How will I taste? How will I smell? Am I tight enough? Am I this enough? Am I, you know, what about my stretch marks? You know, all these things you start to think that take you out of the intimate act and that take you out of receiving pleasure. And your body doesn't really have time for that. At least my body that night didn't have time for that. She was wet. She was ready to go. She was like, yes, penis is here. He wants to do it. Let's do it. But your mind has to be willing to submit to what's going on and relax and go with the flow, because our bodies are wired a little differently. And because of that, if your mind is overactive, you could be physically enjoying something, but you won't get to the happy ending, so to speak, that you're looking for, because you're in your own way with this kind of internal mental struggle. So we start the act of having sex, and I'm feeling good physically, feeling extremely great physically, but struggling internally. And it's not like I don't want to do it, because I do. Clearly, I want to do it, and I'm physically enjoying it, but mentally, all of these things are going through my head. And he kind of picks up on that. He's like, you know, you're all right? You want me to stop? And I was like, I think we probably should. Like, I'm enjoying it, but, you know, there's just a lot going through my mind. This is very intense for me, because it's like I'm getting exactly what I want, but I didn't realize it was going to happen. So the whole purpose of me recording this episode and being very vulnerable and being very graphic is because after this encounter, I had more encounters, but it took someone kind of sitting me down saying, Ayodele, I'm here to please you. And you are getting in your own way by staying in your head, you know? And by staying in my head, I literally mean, like, what about my stretch marks? Is my vagina tight enough? Am I going to be wet enough? Is this person really attracted to me? Is this experience real? I told you guys, I am an overthinker. I know, I apologize, it's too much. But even beyond that, like, as a woman, thinking and living and growing and breathing, you often question, like, do I have the right to be a sexual being and have sexual desires, and really, really think, like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. This is who I want to do it with. This is when I want to do it, without feeling, you know, bad emotionally, feeling bad morally, feeling bad socially. So once again, this is MILF Ministry, and we're talking about self-love, healing, and intimacy. And I just think it's really, really, really important for women to understand that it is okay to be a sexual being. And we'll have future episodes where we go through things that you can do to mentally, spiritually, and just prepare to be intimate, especially as a mom, you know, with a new partner for the first time. There are things that you can do to kind of de-stress, declutter your mind, center your energy so that you can sit in your divine feminine energy and really think about what you want to do, how you want to be pleased, and focus on that so that you'll be okay. I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback about, you know, everything that I've had to say about my first time having sex. you know, after being with one person for such a long time and after being a mom. So those two combinations. I'm really looking forward to hearing audience feedback about that. And when I hear the feedback, also, I want to know your thoughts on my story, but also it would be nice to hear your story. So thanks for listening to this episode of MILF Ministry. If you enjoyed the discussion about my first time having sex, please feel free to share this episode with family, friends. You can join the discussion by following at MILF Ministry on Instagram, on Facebook, and Twitter. All of your feedback is welcome. And thanks for listening to this episode, my first episode, MILF Ministry.